Everybody like, hey, are you ready to go? Ready to go. Everybody like, hey.
All right. What's good, y'all? Soul here, and welcome back to my story mode. So, for those of you who don't know who I am, hi, hello, what's going on? My name is Soul, usually referred to as Soul Story Mode, as made prominent on my main channel, Soul Story Mode, where we do any and all kinds of Pokemon-related content. If that's something that you're interested in, go ahead and check that out over there. We've got plenty of content coming up this year, and I can't wait for you guys to see it. But over here, we're doing any and all kinds of everything else kind of content. We're referring to other games, maybe some anime. I'm thinking about some books. You know what I'm saying? We might go ahead and get a little creative on this channel. I'm feeling a little free. You know what I'm saying? And this year, I really want to do a couple of projects that I can only do here. So make sure that you hit that sub button and stick around, because I got a lot of fun projects for you guys in the works. So as of right now, for anybody that's seen any of my previous videos, I'm sure that you've noticed I'm standing up. I'm not sitting down. I needed a change of scenery for these videos, and it might be a little bright. I'm still working out the lighting situation. Hopefully I can fix it in editing, but I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a background. You know what I'm saying? Right here we got my boy, you know, my son Shanks. That's my boy. You know what I'm saying? We got me, all right. A lovely gift from a good friend of mine. Thank you so much. Obviously Luffy and Gojo, you know, they ready to box. You know what I'm saying? You don't play, all right. You know what I'm saying? And just a wide array of other things that you guys have to look at while I talk and ramble. Oh my god, please. Okay. Yeah, you hold on to him, Gojo. So you've seen the title and you've seen the thumbnail. It's very obvious that today we're going to be talking about The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, and why it's a little disappointing that we didn't actually end up receiving any of the updates or DLC that we thought that we were going to receive for Tears of the Kingdom. This is something that was announced months ago, like literally 2 to 3 months after the fact. After the game had released, they had stated that Aonuma and the team had no plans for DLC and no plans for further updates on this era of Breath of the Wild, which means that the era of the Wild is pretty much finished, and they're already going to town, working hard on whatever the next big Zelda game is probably going to be. They're probably planning it out as we speak. We don't know what that is. We're probably not going to see it for another decade or something like that. I can't imagine where I'm going to be at that point, but hopefully at a better space so that we can go ham on whatever that is. But for now, we're here to talk about just a little bit about why that's a little on the disappointing side. Obviously, I'm very happy with how Tears of the Kingdom came out as a game. It's one of my favorites of 2023. It is my favorite of 2023, actually. That game had me by the heart, by the balls, and everything in between, because that game was an absolute masterpiece, and I cannot wait to dive back into it and, you know, just re-explore everything while I'm getting gameplay for probably a big review that I'm going to be putting on this channel real soon. So, you know, make sure to stay tuned for that. However, it is very odd to me that we didn't end up receiving any kind of DLC or updates for Tears of the Kingdom. And I really wanted to kind of talk about that, okay? And I wanted to talk about some of the things that I thought would have been really cool to receive, or just a couple of things that I kind of expected. The first thing that I put here is something that it's just me coping, right? With the fact that we didn't get a playable Zelda. Because I would have loved a DLC that focused solely on Zelda's journey to the past. I think it would have been really cool if there was a situation in which we actually got to go to the past and travel around as Zelda, maybe not in the entire world of Hyrule, but maybe a much more linear version of Hyrule, considering the fact that, you know, Hyrule was definitely underdeveloped, considering the fact that she went hundreds, thousands of years in the past. Who even knows, right? But she went so far back in the past that it would be an underdeveloped Hyrule. So I think that it would have been cool to be able to go against Ganon's forces using her powers that she's learning and understanding and developing as a newly found time sage, right? And I thought that would have been really, really neat. So, you know, it's unfortunate because, you know, this is my favorite version of Zelda. Okay, Era of the Wild Zelda, my absolute favorite Zelda of all time. This is one of the more involved Zeldas in the series, aside from like Tetra, who I prefer as Tetra as opposed to Zelda, you know what I'm saying? But Era of the Wild Zelda, she has my heart. I love her so much, and I think it's a damn shame that the only time that we really got to play as her is in the non-canon Age of Calamity, which I still love, by the way. I absolutely love Age of Calamity, and I love Zelda in Age of Calamity, especially when she's full power. But it is a little odd to me that we just never got to make good on that. And I kind of expected it. I fully expected it, honestly, because at this point, asking for playable Zelda is like asking for Pokemon to take more than a year on a Pokemon game. It's very unlikely. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. I think it would have been really neat. I think it would have been really cool But also, I think it would have been really nice, maybe in or out of the DLC, if they were to do it, to have given us a reason or an explanation as to why the divine beasts are just not a thing. Literally, not a single mention of the divine beasts or the champions prior besides Mifa at all. I mean, I think they mentioned Daruk a little bit. He's literally engraved in the thing. But for the most part, nothing. It's almost like the other champions didn't exist. It's almost like Link wasn't a hero a couple of years ago, taking down Calamity Ganon when that was a big threat for Hyrule. Nothing. Just, I feel like there should definitely be some kind of explanation for that, and it's weird that there wasn't. And I feel like that would have been a really cool DLC, maybe a challenge or something. Maybe we can get some kind of, revisit to the Divine Beasts kind of DLC. I don't know. I thought that would have been really, really neat. But unfortunately, that did not come to pass. So it is what it is. Another thing that I think is really, really strange is the fact that we never got some kind of master mode. For anybody that doesn't know, Master Mode is simply the hard or expert version of the game. It literally makes every enemy in the game harder and stronger and faster and just generally better. You get a much stronger UI, or AI, excuse me, and they will try to whoop your ass. And, we got that in Breath of the Wild with Master Mode, and it was insane trying to fight Guardians with that level of AI. They were kind of whooping ass out there, man, and it was really, really cool. I loved Master Mode. It gave me another reason to revisit the game. It gave me another reason to explore Hyrule again, especially that super hyper-developed version of Hyrule. I thought that was really cool. Most of us were expecting them to do that again, because why wouldn't they do that again, right? Master Mode is just a Zelda staple. That's just a thing for Zelda games. So it's kind of odd that this one didn't get that. Although I don't remember if, as far as like sequels go, I don't remember if Majora's Mask has a master mode. If anybody actually watching this, maybe, that knows, or maybe remind me, or I'll look it up afterwards. It doesn't really matter. But it is super strange that we never got a master mode. And that's unfortunate, because I think I could see some real potential in a master mode in which, we could get some harder challenges with our Zonai abilities and stuff. We could really, learn to manipulate that and, a lot of different ways to defeat some harder enemies and stuff like that. I just think that would have been really, really cool. But we just don't have master mode for whatever reason. So that's something. Whatever. It is what it is. Granted, they did have a story purpose as to why the Master Sword is at full power this time around, but I still think that it would have been cool to have another Trial of the Sword situation in which we could, go in naked and just rebuild ourselves as powerful as we possibly can, so that way we can power ourselves up a little more and, maybe have some farther distances on our Zonai abilities or an even stronger Master Sword. I don't know. I just think that would have been really neat, but it's unfortunate that we didn't get that. So, at the end of the day, I guess it is what it is, right? And then another thing, right, that really surprised me that we didn't get is some other, crossover events and quests and stuff like that, right? Because in Breath of the Wild, we had the Xenoblade 2 crossover situation, and that was the most unexpected thing I've ever seen, because of all the games for them to cross over with, I didn't expect it to be Xenoblade. Maybe it's because they were really starting to get Xenoblade back up off its feet, because, a lot of people missed out on Xenoblade Chronicles X, and they were really trying to promote Xenoblade Chronicles 2 at the time, so I guess doing that in Breath of the Wild really helped, maybe. I don't really know if that did any extra damage for that. But as far as, crossovers goes, we did have some Xenoblade content earlier this year with Future Redeemed and stuff like that, so I thought it would have been really neat to do some kind of Xenoblade 3 crossover, maybe some outfits from them, or maybe some kind of quests to do or something. I don't know. I thought that would have been really cool personally, but they never capitalized on that kind of thing again. And it's, it's not completely the biggest surprise that they didn't do anything like this, but it is kind of unfortunate that we don't know if they're ever going to do something like that again, because I think it would have been really, really neat to do something like that with Metroid that came out this year, or Pikmin that, dropped Pikmin 4 this year. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's just strange and unfortunate that we never got our hands on something like that, but I guess it is what it is. Nothing can really be done about that, but whatever. So that pretty much just about does it for this, right? Because at the end of the day, I love how Tears of the Kingdom came out regardless, and I feel like I did get my money's worth regardless of it being $70. But for, you know, for what it's worth, I think that Tears of the Kingdom was really good. And, you know, it's not the most perfect game of all time. Of course, it definitely still has its flaws that I'll definitely talk about in a future review. I think I mentioned that earlier, but I'm going to say it again because I hope you guys stick around for that, because I think that's going to be a really fun video to make. But I really did enjoy Tears of the Kingdom for what it was, and, you know, whatever they come up with next, if it tops it, I will be truly shocked, because Era of the Wild is my absolute all-time favorite of the Zelda franchise, and I can't see anything really topping that, because it was just so much fun. It was such a beautiful world to explore, get to learn all of the different ways that they've incorporated previous, you know, concepts and stuff with the Zoras and the Gorons and everything. The way they're integrated in this world is probably one of my favorites, and I just don't know how they're going to top that. I'm sure they'll try. I'm sure they'll do something even cooler next time. But we'll see. We'll have to see what happens. You know what I mean? But it's just, you know, it's a little sad that it just kind of went down this way. You know, I mean, granted, it did end on a fine note for the most part, but it is awkward. It's still kind of an awkward little note to end on, that we just didn't get any updates, any big finale thing to just say thanks for playing. You know what I mean? And, you know, it is what it is. It definitely had some of the most epic moments in Zelda history, so I can't really complain all that much. But, you know, just something that I was thinking about and decided, hey, I need to post this here. So we should probably go ahead and get out our first post this year. And I thought, hey, you know, Zelda's a good place to start as any. So anyway, tell me what you guys are thinking in the comment section below, because you know for a fact that I'm always down there with you guys. Do you guys believe that Tears of the Kingdom ended on a perfectly fine note, we didn't need any updates, and we're good the way it is? Or do you believe that we should have gotten updates and that the note that it ended on was a little more sour and you didn't like the way it ended? Tell me everything, because I'm going to be down there with you guys. I promise you that much. But with that, it does appear, yep, to be skedaddle o'clock. So, I'd like to thank you guys ever so much for watching. I truly do hope you enjoyed. Do me the greatest favor of dropping a like and a comment, and consider subscribing for more content just like this here. And with that, I am gonzo. Thanks again, hope you enjoyed, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Do me the greatest favor of taking good ass care, and I'll see you all next time.